let's jump into it. We're doing the property tour. I've had a couple people ask about what the property looks like. They mentioned the track, the field, a couple things that they saw, and let's dive into it. Let's shoot right for the property. Right now, I am walking up the driveway and coming down it. I'll drop a little clip right now of what it looks like from me coming home. And then after I get home, usually it's the evening time now, so it's kind of what I'm working with. Some daylight footage will come in the near future. But coming home is usually locking up the chickens, feeding the chickens, refreshing any water, taking care of the cats. Definitely any outside animals is what the chores are as the day comes down. Because before work, we end up letting them out before we leave. And then they free range during the day. We only really have one neighbor, I guess, and that is the farmer right over there. So as far as everything else goes, it's pretty much just open fields, cornfields, bean fields, and nice sunsets all around this place. Only neighbor I'm working with is that guy there. But long story short is he does cattle, so he does have dairy cows. Most of the time he has cows running up and down the creek line here, and I do have the creek that runs through the backside. But in the front we do have our main, I guess, field or burn pile or front pasture, or whatever you want to call it. But I would say it's probably between 2 and 3 acres of just open grass field that does require the zero turn to get used on. And most of this is not nice grass. It's a rough field covered in weeds, sticks, old logs, brush, whatever you can find. So this is part of the property that the lawnmower does get beat up on, and does require a solid hour and a half to cut. But this is also the burn pile where any tree that falls down or anything that happens or anything garbage going on comes right over here and enters the burn pile. So this is also a cool place where farmers or neighbors pull up. They pull up around here, back the trucks up, pull up the side-by-sides, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, whatever you got, pull up. We have a big bonfire. That's where a lot of the hangout goes on. And on the other side of the driveway was something that we didn't really notice first time we were here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 orchard trees, 6 mature fruit trees. So we do have fruits at the top of this tree. The bottom of it was dead and needs to be pruned. We also have, I believe these are Honeycrisp apples, but we do have a full red apple tree on this one. This ended up growing here. I'm not sure what it is. This is also probably about an acre field. This one, I believe, is a plum tree or some sort of apple. Also needs to be heavily pruned. But on the very top there, we do have a couple darker colored fruits. Same with this one. Slightly dead, needs to be pruned, no activity, but do have a little bit of darker colored fruits on this tree as well. This one, obviously, you can clearly see what we've got going on here. I want to say they are crab apples. Not too sure, haven't really dove too much into them, but obviously they are mini. So as far as this tree goes, haven't tasted them. The other trees, we've tasted those and they were pretty cool. And there's also one in the back. But the last tree up front here, another red apple tree. All of the orchard trees do need to be trimmed. I believe if I do prune them and trim them that I should get a better yield the next year, but that's another thing to add to the list. As far as the main field goes in the fireplace, or the burn pit or fire pit or whatever you want to call it, That is on the right side of the driveway when you come in. And on the left side, I do have this open area with a few mature fruit trees. This is a little bit of a seating area. We are taking a walk down the left side of the house, left side of the driveway. Just more land, as you can see. We are on propane here, so I do have a 1,000 gallon propane tank that I'm coming up to, which does get filled periodically. That guy looks something like this. I need to do a little weeding and trimming. But we came from the field over this way, came from the apple trees, and came down here. We will run into some chickens, and then we're gonna start running into the front yard here. So I think I got one of my chickens right there, running for the damn life. And then we've also got some more over here waiting to go into the coop. That is a hay rake that was left on the property. They are all heading in now because I'm coming and they know. Nicole's garden here is finished up for the year. Just because of the warm weather, we got a couple more things we could take down. Let's see. This plant here is some okras. Pull the caps off the okras. Could take a couple of these down. Same with these. A couple over there. Looks like there was some sugar baby watermelons, a couple little gourds. Corn has died off. Sunflower needs to go. Sunflower needs to go. And then on the inside here, we haven't really done anything with the gardening. Gardening here, animals have eaten the cabbage heads, bugs, whatever. But the other beds had peppers and tomatoes and potatoes and carrots and beans and things. So that was the garden, Nicole's ingrown garden, and Nicole's above ground garden. We do have 3 buildings on the outside. The middle one is my shop, which is usually where we hang out. One behind me here is the chicken coop, and then we do have the blue barn is what we call it. Starting with the chicken coop because it is full. Let's go see what these guys are working with for the rest of the night. Here is a couple of the chickens. They do have a couple eggs from today, larger eggs. This girl here does have some feathers coming in on the backside. They don't like when I get too close. They also need some help with their feed. When the chickens do stay in here, they also have a run on the backside. They do lay their eggs in the nesting boxes. This one here is a rooster. He's a good boy. This one here is Mama. She's trying to be broody, laying on some eggs. We do not want her hatching any more babies. We don't need any more. Mr. Rooster's ready to party with the feed. And then most of them hang out. Oh, she didn't make it. Sorry. They hang out on the nesting bars here. We did check out the chicken coop and I locked them up for the night. So this was kind of cool to film this video after work. I wanted to film it during the day with bright sunshine, but this is what I'm working with. A couple of these chickens are still outside, waiting to go on the run. And then this is Big Boss himself, Mr. Maurice. He's the one that puffs his feathers and cock-a-doodle-doos. And here they head inside. He waits for all of them to go in before he heads in himself. And that is it for the chickens. Front door is locked, run is locked. And we close up the main door, and that's it. Moving off of the chicken run, let's get into the backyard a little bit on the back side of the shop, which is where we saw the silo before. Over this way, we do have the track, which I'll show you a little bit of me riding. Also with the track, we do have some trails and then the creek back here. So coming off the side of the shop, we can walk through the track real quick. Track will be behind me. I'll talk a little bit through it. How I made the track and just kind of flattened this area. I didn't do it too well. I think it could be improved or mowed. But once again, a lot of brush. I just loaded up the tractor with a pallet and I put some weights on the back of it, like gym weights. I think I put like 150 pounds on a pallet with a piece of plywood so it was flat. Hooked it up with some chains and I dragged it through this place. I probably did like 6 to 8 different laps, just circling around with it connected, and it ended up flattening this stuff to the point where we got a little bit of a track. But I think it's pretty cool because it does act like kind of a natural woodland base. So it's not just grass, it gives you something to actually look out for, so you're not hitting brush or trees or corn or anything like that. Kind of adds to the excitement of riding. But the track is probably, I don't know, 2 sidewalk squares wide, if that, maybe a little longer. But it does snake around, come through this way, comes back that way, and then leads into the creek. It's all over here. And we are on the back side of the property now. Also with this quicker property tour, more of it will be shown definitely, but due to limited daylight, sun going down earlier, sun coming up later, mornings are a no-go, evenings were crunch time. I'm trying to get everything shown to you guys so you're all on the same page of if there's anything I'm talking about or if, you know, clips need to be inserted or whatnot. We're all still on the same page. But entrance to the track is here. Come in through here, loop around, come out by the shop, and then that will actually take you through that track, come back up. You can circle this and come back through. That's the same path that I made with the tractor. But off of the track, I also have the drain tile ditch between the fields. So they did corn here and they do beans here, but there's a waterway ditch which then does come back to the creek side. We have been in a drought, so don't mind the creek as much, but there's some water in there. It does rise pretty high all the way up to the bank, but it's pretty cool to have some water on the property, I'll admit. It hasn't really played a big factor with like bugs or anything, I don't think, just because of how far away it's been from the house, but it's still on the property. Oh, hey, we got some cows back here too. Let's take a look. And on the furthest point, we do have the cows. Found them. So this is where they like to roam. Property line ends here. Cows on the side of the creek. They do cross it. They come up the other side. And this one's looking at me. He's pretty interested. This is the very pointed cross of my property. But coming to the very corner, this is where they like to come up to. It is pretty cool to hang out with some cows after work, only considering they're like right there. I know I'm working with something in here too. I don't know how well this clip will turn out. My phone died all the way in the back of the property. I had to run out and grab a charger, and by that time, I'm already working with sundown here. It's not even 7. So I definitely am on daylight crunch time, and I will reveal the barn and the second floor, the other side of the creek, and then there's a pasture over there too. So I do have a little bit more to show you, but I was cut short with daylight. Stay tuned for next time.